Hello, goddesses. Welcome to MenoLabs Live. It's official. We are officially in the holiday season. And although it can be fun to hang out with friends and family, it can get a little overwhelming sometimes with the cost of gifts, attending and hosting events, and this can go on for a few months. So we want to arm you with some tools to help make things a little easier, a little more festive, and keep you in that vibe during this holiday season. So we're going to do that with Dr. Maggie, our brand expert today, and a guest, Dr. Lori Davis, who is a psychologist. And they're going to help give you some more items to add to your toolkit, your perimenopause toolkit this holiday season. So I'm going to invite the ladies in now. It's going to take a little bit. Sometimes there's a delay when I'm doing that on the show. So I'd love to invite you guys to share where you're watching from, ask any questions you have around, stress during the holidays, and we can get those questions answered. So 1 second. Dr. Maggie, I see you. And I'm going to see if we can invite you in. Inviting you in. Let's see if this works. The last show we had a little bit of a mess up, so I see both of you. Yes. So
Hi.
Welcome. Let's get started. My name is Natasha, and I'm the community manager. This is Dr. Maggie, and she is our brand expert. Dr. Maggie, hello. And this is Dr. Lori Davis, who is a psychologist, and she's joining us for the first time. But we really appreciate you guys being here. What are you drinking today?
Oh, you cut out. Did you ask me what I was drinking?
What are you drinking today?
I think the reception is funny. I'm drinking my green tea.
Yes, I love that. Dr. Lori, what are you drinking?
So today I have my bottle of water.
Yes,
it's the holiday season and life is really busy, and it's not good for my anxiety and stress to drink too much caffeine. So I usually have a cup in the morning and then I switch to water.
That's so good. I'm joining you with the water, and I have it with our Keep Glowing Gorgeous. So you'll find out why in a moment. I've got that in there. So I want to start off with our promotion that we're having for this show. Would love you guys to join us after the show since we're live on Instagram. It's going to be at MenoLabs.com, and we're going to be offering any 3 items go into your cart from MenoLabs.com, and you'll get 40% off. Once again, 3 items in your cart, and you'll get 40% off. Plus, you'll get Keep Glowing Gorgeous. That's why I'm drinking it today for free. So that's a really great promotion. The promo code is StressFree40. So it's going to be going until Thursday at midnight. So take note of that. Now I'd love for us to dive in. For most of us, the holidays are a great time to see family and friends and enjoy getting together. But for some women who are already experiencing symptoms, mood swings, hot flashes, and other symptoms that get in the way of their day-to-day lives, this can be a little difficult. So we want to dive into some things you might experience this holiday season and give you ideas for how to make it easier. We're going to start off with Dr. Lori. For some women, there may be anxiety about being around a lot of people. Are there tips to help get women ready to be at family or work get-togethers for the holidays?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I have quite a few tips, and I always try them out on myself. For some women, and I definitely put myself in this category, being in the situations when there are so many people in one space, there's lots of noise and music and conversation, maybe even holiday toasts to make, this can really kick up the anxiety socially and otherwise. So here are a couple of quick tips. First off, do your best to work at a few hours before an event. You want to keep your nervous system at a low point. So get outside and try to walk briskly. Even 10 or 15 minutes can help to reset your nervous system, maybe after a long day of work and taking care of family responsibilities. I take a yoga mat wherever I go. I have one at the office, I have one at home, and if I'm going to holiday functions or staying with the family, I always bring my mat. Even doing a plank for 60 seconds or gentle stretching can help to get your heart pumping in a healthier way. Watch your caffeine intake if you're going to a family or a work event. You don't want to show up feeling really revved up or your heart is palpitating. So you want to kind of watch the caffeine intake actually all year long, but particularly during the holidays. For social anxiety, for certain people who are afraid of sounding silly or not being entertaining at holiday parties, you can actually script it before you leave. Make a list of conversation topics, what you can talk about. That may be a recent work accomplishment or news about the kids, or a trip that you might be taking, or the weather or news. That way you come to the party or to the event already prepared. One of the things I like best is taking a mini time out, and you can do this throughout a work or a family event. If you're feeling like your anxiety level, your stress level starts getting kicked up, or you're overstimulated by too much noise and conversation, take 5 minutes, go to the restroom or find a different space in the room, take 10 deep breaths. If you're in the restroom, you can put your wrists under cold water. It's so grounding and gives you a reset. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm doing it, I'm handling it, maybe even I'm having a good time. And then I visualize myself after the work or family event where I'm back at home. Maybe I have my fuzzy fleece socks on, I'm snuggling with a pet, and I'm feeling kind of safe and comforted. So those are a few of the things that I actually do, and I definitely recommend to patients and friends.
Now, I want to share with everyone, we're going to have a lot of great tips because already in this first question, we have so many. I want you to have your pens ready. And if you don't, I want to let you know that we're going to have this replay on YouTube. So don't worry if you don't. There's going to be a lot of great information, so just stay tuned. Dr. Maggie, financial distress can come into play when holiday gifts start to become a financial strain. Do you have tips on how to approach the issue?
Yes. So I think it's really important to plan early, and now is early. So if you can start to plan now-ish, you're getting a head start. And I love writing lists. And so I think it's really great if you can divide your list into categories as far as who you want to get gifts for. So family, friends, and then people who you just want to show gratitude for. That could be teachers or gardeners or housekeepers or mail person. And write a list, and then write a budget of how much you want to send maybe total, and then you can divide it up amongst those categories. And I love to write ideas already down, like what I want to get someone. So I have a list, and every time I purchase something, I'll just write it in that list. So you can do Excel spreadsheet if that's your jam. You can do just a Word document. You can do a journal. You can handwrite it. It just really helps to get it out. And I am big into, pictures, because I think everyone does appreciate that. If you just, and this is not expensive, if you can get a photo printed and put it in a frame, either a frame that you can make, they have those wooden frames from Michael's and other craft stores that you can design yourself, or just buy an inexpensive frame, put a beautiful picture in it. I think that's a really inexpensive, wonderful option. Any craft gift, I really do recommend. Photo books, everyone loves those. If you can capture some photos, they're so meaningful and they're not too pricey. And then heifer.org is something I've used a lot, especially for like coworkers. Heifer.org, if you look it up, you can send a flock of geese or a flock of ducklings or a cow. I mean, it's varying in prices, but like you can even send bee and beehives for $20 to a family in need in another country where that could really set them up for success. And you can do that in someone's name. So I think there's a lot of great ideas. I think list writing and preparing in advance is the way to go.
I love the idea of that website. Is it Heifer? I don't know if I'm saying it wrong.
Heifer, I believe.
We're going to provide that on the app because I want to make sure you guys are aware of how to find that. So we'll provide that on MenoLife app. So make sure to stay tuned for that because I know that sounds really great, but we might all get a little confused with what it is.
Yeah.
The next question, Dr. Lori, how can women manage the stress of getting the right gift during the holiday season? Because that could get a little stressful.
Yeah, again, this definitely pertains to me. I recommend approaching a holiday gift giving one person at a time. So start early, choose one person, give yourself a couple of days just to focus on that one person. Because when you think about the long list of people, hopefully you have many people in your life, it's overwhelming to think of this person might want this and this person might want that. It really just sort of shuts you down. So every couple of days, you move to the next person on the list. And that way it's more manageable. And one great strategy to deal with anxiety in general is to break things down into smaller components. It works much better that way. For those of you who are perfectionistic, and there are probably many of you out there, ask yourself, what is most important about gift giving? It isn't the literal gift that you choose. It really is the thought that counts. And you really letting people in your life, friends, colleagues, loved ones, know that you love them and that you appreciate them and that you want to celebrate with them. And remember, many gifts can be returned. So if it's not the perfect gift, you can figure that out. And if it can't be returned, some of them can be regifted. I know people have different opinions about regifting, or they can be donated. So there's no literal catastrophe here, even though it feels like it might be that way.
I love that perspective, definitely. Dr. Maggie, you've spoken about this before, but I feel like during the holidays, it's even more of a powerful tool, saying no. And I've seen it trending on social media, the November. So it's starting to take off. How can someone be able to say no without feeling rude this holiday season?
Well, I think it's such a great, important topic. I think really when we're invited to something or asked if we could do something, pause before responding and just check in with yourself. I feel as women, so much of us, and then we feel overwhelmed later. Sorry, Natasha, you froze.
I know.
But you're there.
Okay. I was like, oh no.
I think it's my settings. But so yet pause before responding. Ask yourself, how does this make me feel? Is this something I want to do? Is this something I feel I need to do? Will this be draining on my energy? Are these positive people I want to be around? So just pause before responding and then say, what's the worst thing that can happen? I've heard Dr. Lori say this. If I say no, what's the worst thing that can happen? Really? Maybe someone's disappointed, but generally people move on. So just to really check in with yourself, because I do think, and I'm so glad it is trending, that saying no is a really powerful tool for self-care.
Definitely.
So it's an action step we can do that we know is supporting our bodies, our mental health, our physical health, and that it's okay. And by trending now, maybe people feel more empowered to practice it more.
I love that. It's all about the empowerment. Dr. Lori, how can women manage their stress during the holidays?
First off, I agree with everything that Maggie said. I think it's really important to normalize your stress. It's not surprising that you feel more anxious or more tired or more burned out during the holiday season because you are struggling with an already busy life with so many responsibilities on your plate. And so now we're adding gift giving and holiday events and travel and maybe thinking about recipes and food and making a meal for everyone. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that before you get into the holiday season, and that would be now,
Yes.
sit down and write the following. Ask yourself this question: what do the holidays really mean to me? Chances are it's not about the food.
Definitely.
It's about the company. Maybe it has religious significance for you. That's really what it's about. And try to keep that in mind as you kind of maneuver through the holiday season. It's really important to try to stick as much as possible to usual routine. That can include exercise, healthy eating. Don't kick up the caffeine because you feel like you're running on fumes. Try to go to bed the same time each night. Try to take control of what you can take control of in your little world. Because a lot of times during the holidays, we feel out of control. We feel overwhelmed. Try to exercise regularly. Take each day of that holiday season, because it's many weeks. Take it as a separate unit. It's okay to have one long holiday list, but every day take that list and put a few items on it of things you literally have to do just that one day, just the one day. Otherwise, it's going to feel like too much.
Yeah.
And make a list now about what works for you. You know, how do you manage your stress? That could be you take warm baths at the end of every day. You're taking outdoor walks. You're doing, yoga or gentle stressing. You love aromatherapy. Find an essential oil, take a few drops, rub it in your palms.
We breathe that from you. I love that tool.
Right. It's like an amazing reset. It's inexpensive. It works quickly. It's portable. And remind yourself that the holidays come every year and you make it through somehow. And hopefully even you make treasured memories.
Definitely.
So those are some of the
Well, I loved the one that she used where the reset. We used it with the rosemary.
Yes.
And I still love that.
And I use lavender. It works every time.
It's
great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Dr. Maggie, for some women, alcohol can be a trigger for hot flashes. How can women feel like they're still participating in the fun at a holiday party if they can't engage in drinking alcohol?
Well, I think it's really important to start with your mindset. because I think so many of us tell a story like, if we can't drink, we can't have fun. And if you
Yes.
go into an event with that mindset, you're not setting yourself up for success to having fun. So, you know, if you can go in there knowing you can still enjoy yourself, that the main purpose, like Dr. Lori said, is connection, relationships, finding joy in these interactions, in the holiday spirit. You don't need alcohol. You really don't. And again, it's shifting this mindset. So that's on the mindset level. I think, you know, having a mocktails are really in these days. Do we have a mocktail recipe on
We have
MenoLabs?
one coming up in the December Meno Connect newsletter. So I'd like to encourage you guys to sign up for the newsletters. We have a really great one coming up for the holidays.
So it's fun too. Make this an opportunity to explore some fun mocktails as well.
Yes.
You're not the only one. If your goal is to not drink as much or to not drink at all, you're not the only one. So introducing some mocktails, it's another good gift idea. There's so many new websites coming up geared towards mocktails, or sending mocktail gift back packages. So again, and it's also just remembering, like, think of the after the effect. So how do you want to feel tomorrow morning? How do you want to feel going to bed at night? And if you can capture those feelings of wanting to feel good and knowing you're not going to have a hot flash, and, you know, alcohol is a depressant. So especially if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, alcohol is not going to help you. Perhaps in the moment there's something, but not long term. You end up feeling worse after. So again, I think it's shifting the mindset, having another resource like a mocktail, and reminding yourself how you want to feel and prioritizing that.
Definitely. Dr. Lori, what do you recommend women do before going to a holiday party to avoid anxious thoughts?
Well, I think there are a few things. I think, as Maggie said, you want to sort of set yourself up so that you have a certain mindset. And I think I try to work out and recommend to other people to work out a few years before you go to the event. It helps quell the anxiety. It helps to improve your mood, and it helps to kind of reset the body and the brain. So I think that's really important. Don't go to the event hungry or hangry.
Oh, good point.
Have a handful of almonds or a light snack, maybe a piece of fruit, a small piece of cheese before you show up. Again, if you're running on low energy, lack of nutrition, you're going to be more anxious as you approach the event. And yeah, you may reach for food that later makes you feel, loggy the next day, or the alcohol and so forth. Write down your fears. What is it you're literally anxious about as you go to the party? Is it that you won't have anyone to talk to and you'll be standing on the side by yourself? Is it that people will be dancing and you feel self-conscious about that? So write down those fears, literally on your phone or on a piece of paper, and challenge those fears. Have I been in this situation before? How did I do in the past? What's my worst case scenario? I'll be anxious at the holiday party. Okay, well, I've been anxious on many other days in my life and I survived it, and maybe even had a good time.
Love that. I love that. In perimenopause, symptoms are managed by a healthy diet and staying active. During the holidays, it can be difficult to stick to your normal routine. Let's talk about how women can stay on track during the holidays so they don't trigger symptoms that can make someone feel terrible. Dr. Maggie, it feels like holiday treats are everywhere starting in October. And if you're like me, sugar can trigger diabetes, but for some women, it triggers hot flashes. What can they do over the holidays to avoid these triggers and still enjoy the festivities?
All right. So again, number one, shift the mindset that sweets are associated with the holidays, and that sweets are needed to really indulge in the holidays. They're not. They're there. They're common. You don't need to partake. I think not craving them is important. So keeping blood sugar stable is a priority, and that's by eating good sources of protein, healthy sources of fat, and fiber. Happy fiber. Easy to plug into your water, staying hydrated. So you want to go in there with the right mindset that you don't need to eat the sweets, and you want to go in there not craving it. So, keeping your blood sugar stable. And then I'd say for most holiday events, you can bring your own treat or, your own dish.
Yes.
Make sure it's something you can eat and enjoy. There's a lot of great recipes, decadent recipes that are sweetened with like almond butter and dates more than sugar that can be suitable. And if you can pick a few and work on and bring them to a holiday gift, you know you'll have something there you can enjoy.
Love that. And we actually have an energy pop recipe that I wanted to recommend that's on our blog that you can also make and bring to any event or party that you go to. So you have something as an option.
Right.
Dr. Lori, staying active can seem difficult during the winter months because it's cold outside, it stays darker longer. How do you make time to stay active?
Well, I think that you're the only one who can prioritize your self-care and well-being. And I think during the winter months when it's really dark out, it's chilly out, you just want to like snuggle up with a blankie and watch TV or read a book. It's so easy to feel demotivated. I know that happens to me, but it's a mood booster. Exercise is good for the joints, it's good for the heart, and it decreases stress. So my strategy is to literally put it on my phone. So if I want to exercise 3 or 4 times per week, I literally take my iPhone, or you can do it on an Android or a regular date book, and I pencil it in. I put it on my calendar, and every morning I look at my schedule for the day, and I know where is the exercise. And I treat it like any other appointment, whether it's a Zoom meeting for work or whether it's a family event or I have to be someone, I give it the same priority level. Again, only you can do that for yourself. And I find that works pretty well. It's not perfect, but it works pretty well.
I love that. Dr. Maggie, before we dig into our products, let's look into sleep. The kids are out of school. It feels like there are holiday parties left and right. And since sleep is essential in midlife, how can women prioritize their sleep during this festive holiday season?
Okay, so, you cut out a little bit, but I think you said, how do we prioritize sleep during the holiday season?
Yes.
Okay. It is something we want to prioritize, and so it's something you want to be mindful of. I think I recommend looking at your week ahead and just thinking of what events you have coming up. And the events, I mean, listen, we have to top priority is like we have to be forgiving of ourselves and not be hard on ourselves when sleep is interrupted, because this is a season and it's temporary, and most likely there will be events that disrupt our normal sleep routine. But prioritizing and be mindful and making it a priority that we want to keep our bedtime routine the same. So if you're used to taking a bath, putting on essential oils, keep doing that. Make that a priority. Don't just ignore that. I love to go to bed, early-ish. So I'm looking at my week ahead and being like, I know I'm going to have to sacrifice some good night sleeps, but what are the ones I know I can that I might interrupt that sleep? So sticking to your routine and making it a priority and not being hard on yourself if it is interrupted, because I think I know a lot when I work with patients, some of the insomnia is driven by this brain talking like I'm not getting enough sleep and then I'm not going to be okay tomorrow, and that anxiety and that negative self-talk drives the anxious thoughts that keep us awake at night. So be loving and forgiving of yourself if sleep is interrupted. And also, if you're not a journal writer already, perhaps you want to explore journaling just around the holiday season, because we're having so many more interactions, so many things that we can think about, critique, analyze at night. So if you can just get it out before bed so you can clear the mental chatter, I think that can be really helpful.
I love that tip. Dr. Lori, can you share about writing down sleep triggers to help get a restful sleep at night?
Absolutely. So often during the holiday season, we're in this go, go, go mode. And by the time we get into bed at night, our nervous systems are so activated, it's just tough to take it back down. So here's a tip that I love, and I probably use this a few times per week. Take your phone, press the microphone function, and talk into the phone and get out all of your worries and all of your anxieties and everything that happened during the day that you need to process, and speak from anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. And again, you're taking the thoughts and feelings out of your head, out of your body, and you're putting them elsewhere.
I love that.
And it's really, really curative. I recommend this to friends and to patients. Also, you need to practice good sleep hygiene, keeping news consumption to a minimum. After 8 p.m. It only kicks up your anxiety if you continue to watch and take in bad news. Don't go overboard on watching TV. Maybe listen to soft music or acoustic music. Put a mindfulness app on your phone and listen to it. And that could be about muscle relaxation or visualizing yourself on the beach or in a safe place. That actually works really well. And again, going back to caffeine, try not to drink caffeine late in the afternoon. especially during the holiday season when you're reaching for that extra energy, because it'll catch up with you as you get into the evening hours when you really need to take it down.
Definitely. Thank you for those. And now I want to finalize the show with some tools that we can add to our toolkit for the holiday season. We've already got a lot of tools actually, but here's the ones that close it out. Dr. Maggie, what is in the toolkit for women in perimenopause for the holiday season? Because we always talk about the perimenopause toolkit, but what do you want us to focus on for the holiday season?
All right, so what I would love everyone to focus on is staying really well hydrated. That is going to help. And so start your day with 16 ounces of water before you have any coffee or tea. Drink that 16 ounces of water. And when you're done with that, pour another 16 ounces and just drink that throughout the morning. So staying hydrated is something we definitely have in control. Prioritizing sleep and a morning routine. Prioritizing some sort of movement every day. I would say everyone, just like Dr. Lori said, is to get some sort of download some app, meditation app that you can start doing. Even 5 minutes daily can be enough to reset your nervous system. Get a journal.
Yes.
Prioritize joy and love and connection, and really be mindful of any negative self-talk.
Definitely.
And if I didn't say it, obviously making sleep a priority as well.
Yeah. Dr. Lori, can you share your activity that we can do every day, highlighting the positive things we've experienced, no matter how big or small, and how that can be helpful during the holidays? This is the activity.
Definitely. This is so important. We spend so much time in our lives talking about all the things we need to do, all the things we didn't do yet, that it's so important to reinforce what we actually did do. So here's a quick tip. Sit down at the end of the day and mention 2 things you actually got done. They can be simple things. This was a really busy day. It was hectic. I had no time to breathe, but I got through it and nothing terrible happened. That may be one thing that you can write down. Or it was such a busy day, but I listened to a friend in need. I provided support, I provided encouragement, and I think I really helped my friend. So try to point out what you did do, because we need to balance positive and negative feelings, especially through busy times.
I love that. Thank you. So now a few products I wanted to go through with you, Dr. Maggie. The first one, we're talking so much about sleep right now during the holidays. Let's see, there you go. We've got Well Rested. How can Well Rested help women during the holiday season?
Yes. So if normally you don't have issues sleeping, Well Rested is something good to have on hand, especially during times when sleep might be interrupted, because the ingredients in Well Rested really help quiet the active mind, helps promote falling asleep and staying asleep. So it's not a bad thing just to have by your bed or in your bathroom at night if you're having difficulty sleeping, or you suspect you may have difficulty sleeping. It can really help, and you can use it on an as needed basis. But if you just want to jump ahead of it and use it during the holiday season or anytime you're having difficulty sleeping, it can be really powerful just to relax the body, quiet the mind, help your body fall asleep and stay asleep.
Great. And how can promoting gut health with our probiotics be helpful during the holiday season?
Yeah, so we know a good healthy gut microbiome can be disrupted after one meal. Can you believe that? One sugary treat can adjust our microbiome, and microbiome adjustment can affect our metabolism, our mood, our energy, our food cravings. So I'm going to be realistic. We're probably all going to deviate a little bit from our healthy routine, but taking something like a probiotic during the season may be even more important, so we can assure we're giving our gut the attention and love it needs to thrive. It really does help affect our feelings of fullness and our food cravings and even our mood and energy level. So it's just another added insurance bonus support we can do for ourselves during the holiday season.
Definitely. And then the last one I wanted to highlight is the happy fiber, because I know already we're not getting enough, and then we're going into the holiday season eating a lot of other foods that we shouldn't be. So one thing we want to kind of make sure we're getting is our fiber.
Yeah, so fiber is really important. One, it feeds the probiotics that we might be taking, through the other supplements. So it's the soil, it's the food source, so probiotics can proliferate and grow. Our fiber is also just really important for overall health and wellness and disease prevention and metabolic health. And our diets are really deficient in fiber. Unless we're really mindful, we're most likely not getting enough fiber in our diet. So having a supplemental source can be really helpful, especially during the holidays. So Happy Fiber is great because it's a soluble fiber and it dissolves really easy in that morning glass of water you're drinking. And you're giving your body that little extra fiber source to feed the gut microbiome and also to help stabilize blood sugar and help us feel full longer. It can literally elongate our blood sugar curve, so we're not getting that drop and we're not feeling hungry.
I love that. So it's definitely one to make sure you have in your pantry. I didn't see any questions from the community. If you guys have any questions, I'd love for you to put them down below so we can answer them before we head out. I'm just scrolling really quick to make sure I'm not missing anybody. So I think I'm going to leave it there, but I'd like to repeat the deal. So if you buy any 3 items, you're going to get 40% off using Stress-Free 40. That's going until Thursday at midnight. You'll get Keep Glowing Gorgeous for free. And yeah, once again, it's going until midnight on Thursday. Stress-Free 40 is the promo code. If any questions weren't answered that you needed, oh, someone's saying, excellent tips. So glad I stumbled upon your talk. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. But if you did have any questions and you didn't feel comfortable asking them here, our customer care is going to be available to answer you at customercare@menolabs.com. I want to thank Dr. Maggie and Dr. Lori for joining us and answering all of these questions and giving us the tools we need this holiday season to put into our perimenopause toolkit. And then if you guys want to answer below, we'd love to hear from you. We love hearing from our community. How do you keep your routine during the holiday season? We love learning from each other, so we'd love to hear from you and get some insight from our community. So thank you again, and we'll see you in December. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
It's not letting me get out. 1 second.